The AccuPyc II 1340 is an instrument used for measuring volume and calculating true or skeletal density. The instrument uses the ideal gas law equation and the gas displacement technique. There are two chambers inside the instrument, a sample or filling chamber and an expansion chamber. Note that for some AccuPyc models, the sample is placed in the expansion chamber. We are going to pressurize the sample chamber with gas from a helium or nitrogen tank set to 22 pounds per square inch of pressure. To purge the system, open the fill valve and then the expansion valve. Then vent the gas out of the unit. Before analyzing, we purge the system using this process. The instrument contains routines to allow program purging of the sample chamber. We typically do this 10 times. You have the option to use anywhere from 0 to 999 purges. By filling the chamber and venting, it does a better job of cleaning the sample than just blowing gas over the sample. Then we'll start our analysis, which uses the same filling and venting cycle with time allowed for pressure equilibration. During the analysis, the instrument automatically records the pressure of first the filling chamber and then the filling and expansion chamber, P1 and P2. The unit then calculates the volume of gas displaced by the sample, collects this volume data, and together with the mass of the material, calculates skeletal density. But before we get started with the demonstration, let me point out a key feature of the AccuPyc. The AccuPyc sample chamber has a unique closure system. Competitive instruments employ a screw-threaded cap. As a result, the seal is always uncertain. This can affect your volume data. With this AccuPyc cap, the patented bayonet mount and roller mechanism ensures an identical tight seal every time. The same force is applied between the cap and chamber with every analysis, virtually eliminating any alteration to the sample measurement. You can see here an O-ring on the underside of the sample cap. It needs to be kept clean to function properly. Clean with a laboratory wipe. Place a thin coat of grease on the greasing disc using a latex glove. Do not use your fingers to apply grease to the O-ring. Too much grease on the O-ring will change the volume. Let's get started. There are two ways to operate the instrument. We can use the keypad as a standalone device or use a computer with the AccuPyc Windows software. Let's start with keypad operation. The LED display on the AccuPyc control module gives the unit number, serial number of the instrument, and instrument capacity, and 3 valves marked by X's. First valve is for filling, second for expansion, and third for venting. The instrument is set for reload, which means it is ready to perform an analysis and is alternating between displaying temperature and pressure. Before starting the first analysis, it's a good idea to zero the pressure transducer reading. Press the blue and 0 buttons, followed by enter and enter again to start. This will cause the instrument to zero itself. It takes a few seconds. This is an automatic part of every analysis. 0 is atmospheric pressure. If you don't zero the instrument, you can run into errors with your data. It will beep 3 times when the 0 is finished. When finished, open the chamber. Place a sphere of known volume in the sample cup and place the sample cup in the sample chamber. Engage the sample chamber cap and we are now ready to start a measurement. To start the analysis, we are going to press the blue key and setup key. Setup type analysis parameters is visible in the LED window. Press enter, which allows you to set up the instrument for the number of purges. Normally we choose 10 or more, but for this demonstration we will use 1. Press enter again, which will give you the purge pressure readout of 19.5 psi. Press enter again and we get the number of cycles to run. We will set it for 1 but we can program the unit for up to 999. Then press enter again to display the cycle fill pressure at 19.5 psi. Press enter and we are going to equilibrate typically at 0.005 pounds per square inch per minute. But we're going to speed it up for the purpose of this demonstration by using 0.1. Press enter again to see the run precision window. This is another key feature of the instrument. If we were performing 5 analyses or more, the run precision option allows the instrument to automatically look for 5 consecutive analyses that meet a tolerance set by you within the unit. Once the results meet this threshold, the analysis is completed and the statistics of the last 5 analyses are calculated. Since we only set the unit for 1 analysis, this is not an option. With the choice and enter buttons, we can choose report options. Here we can tell the AccuPyc to report a volume or density reading. A density reading requires you to enter the mass prior to analysis. We are just analyzing a sphere of known volume, so we just want to see volume. In this case, the sphere is 51.0923 cubic centimeters. Pressing enter, we can set a number of parameters. We can request a sample identification, request a sample description, print reports, choose to transmit reports, choose to email reports, choose the printer that is attached, choose format for electronic transmissions, and request whether to use an optional insert. Using choice, we can select calibration data and view the calibration for the cell volume and for the expansion volume. Pressing choice, we can look at communications parameters for electronic communication. Choice again, we can set types of units, including language, and date and time. Pressing choice takes us back to the analysis parameters. We will press save to save these settings. Start the analysis by pressing the blue and the analyze key. Put in the sample ID. In this case, we have entered the expected volume for this known sphere. Press enter, followed by enter to start. The unit starts a purge cycle by opening the fill valve. The pressure is going to increase to 19.5 psi. At that time, it will then open the expansion valve, followed by the vent valve. This completes the purge cycle. Since we selected only a single purge, it is finished with this part of the process. In normal operation, it will use a cycle of 10. After this is finished, the instrument will zero the pressure display and start the analysis. We see here the zeroing cycle. For this demonstration, we've set the instrument up for fast equilibration time. The unit starts filling the chamber for analysis. The LED displays shows the pressure. The expansion valve will open, followed by the vent valve. The unit will equilibrate again. Now the analysis cycle starts by filling, equilibrating, and expanding, equilibrating again, and then venting back to zero pressure. This is the first equilibration cycle for P1. The expansion valve opened, and now it is equilibrating P2. The expansion valve opens, ending that analysis cycle. It is now going to go through the zero process again of zeroing the pressure reading. Once again, the fill valve opens to fill to 19.5 pounds per square inch. Pressure will equilibrate for P1. Expansion valve will open. Pressure will equilibrate for P2. And then it'll vent back to atmospheric pressure. In this case, displayed as 0. When it is finished, the LED window will say terminate and the unit will beep 3 times. and it displays the volume, 51.0106. Returning back to reload mode. Software operation offers many advantages, including the ability to daisy chain 5 additional AccuPyc analysis modules for additional throughput. For this demo, however, we will show the operation of one unit. Double-click on the software icon to launch the AccuPyc Windows application. We see here the instrument schematic, and from this we can see the fill or sample chamber, the expansion chamber, the fill valve, expansion, and vent valve. In order to start an analysis, we go to the File menu, select Open, Sample Information, enter a sample name, in this case Test 1, click on OK, and choose to create this file. Here we can enter sample information, analysis conditions including number of purges, we'll set to 1, number of analysis cycles, we'll set to 1. Here's the equilibration rate, we'll set to 0.1 as we did before. We can choose the run precision again as you see, and even record P1 and P2 equilibration data. We can also choose the different report options. We'll save this, we'll close this, and we'll start the analysis. From the screen we can monitor the analysis process. We chose only a single cycle, so at the end of that cycle, results will be displayed. Had we chosen additional cycles, they would continue automatically. Had we chosen run precision, at least 5 analyses would complete, and once we had 5 within the tolerance we set, the results from those last 5 would be displayed along with average of the analyses. The AccuPyc comes in a number of different bundle options to suit the specific needs of your application, including temperature control and the option to input the sample mass directly from an analytical balance to eliminate any operator error. Please refer to the AccuPyc brochure at www.micromeritics.com for more information on how this versatile instrument can meet your true density needs.